Hi, welcome to the video presentation of second year intermediate economics of Andhra Pradesh Board of Intermediate Education. In the first chapter, we are supposed to improve our knowledge on economic growth and economic development. Now, let us examine what is economic growth. Economic growth refers to an increase in a country's real output of all the goods and services that are produced in the economy during a specific time period. It is related to developed countries. Economic growth does not tell very much about the actual welfare of the people in the country. Here we explain economic development. Economic development refers to not only economic growth but also progressive changes in the socio-economic aspects of a country. Economic development is a measure of welfare or the well-being of the people of the country. Now let us understand more about the nature of economic growth and economic development. Economic growth is only concerned with raising income level and volume of production of goods and services. It talks about only the quantitative impact on the economy. It is indicated by the per capita income, GDP, etc. On the other hand, economic development is to raise income level and improve the human being. That means it deals with the quantitative and qualitative impact on the economy. It is indicated by improvement in life expectancy, literacy, and reduction in poverty, infant mortality rate, so on. Economic growth is a traditional approach to the economics. According to this approach, take care of growth and poverty would be eliminated automatically. Means that we have to take care of the growth, improvement of income only, income of the country, and automatically that will reduce or eliminate the poverty and other problems of the economy. Here, the economic development is the modern approach, and according to them, take care of poverty and growth would take care of itself. That means we have to eliminate the problems in the economy and to improve the quality of the life of the country. That would automatically improve the income of the country. Now we are going to compare economic growth and economic development. Economic growth can be referred to an increase in a country's real output of all the goods and services, whereas economic development refers to not only economic growth but also progressive changes in the socio-economic aspects of a country. Economic growth is a single dimensional phenomenon. Economic development is a multi-dimensional phenomenon. Economic growth is generally related to developed countries, whereas economic development is generally related to developing countries. Economic growth is a narrow concept, whereas economic development is a wide concept. Economic growth denotes quantitative changes in the economy, whereas economic development denotes quantitative as well as qualitative changes in the economy. Economic growth can be compared to the physical growth of a person, whereas economic development can be compared to the overall improvement of a person, both physical and intellectual. Economic growth does not indicate the distribution of income and wealth in the economy, whereas economic development indicates the distribution of income and wealth in the economy. It is one of the important 5-mark question. Another important area that we are going to discuss is that determinants of economic development. There are two factors are there. First one, economic factors. Second one, non-economic factors. The economic factors are natural resource, capital formation, size of the market, structural change, financial system, marketable surplus, foreign trade, economic system, etc. The non-economic factors are human resource, technological know-how, political freedom, social organization, corruption-free administration, desire for development, moral, ethical and social values, casino capitalism, patrimonial capitalism. Let us now explain the determinants of economic growth in that economic factors. One of the important point is rate of capital formation. Capital formation is one of the most important and strategic determinant of economic growth. Generally, economic growth can be regarded as the direct function of the rate of capital formation. Second point, capital output ratio. The growth of output in an economy also depends upon the capital output ratio. It is also known as the investment income of the capital coefficient. It shows the relationship between capital investment and the emergent output consequent upon the investment. Third point, rate of growth of population. The rapid growth of population in the most of the countries neutralizes all initial economic improvement which takes place on account of the economic growth. Now let us discuss about the non-economic factors in the economic development. For the economic development, not only economic factors, the non-economic factor also very important. In that, especially human resource, technological know-how and general education, political freedom, social organization, corruption, desire to develop. These areas are very important for the development of a country. Here in this map, you can see World Bank's classification of countries on the basis of per capita income. The countries are divided into three categories. They are high income, middle income and low income countries. Here the middle income countries are divided into two. They are upper middle income countries and lower middle income countries. The high income countries are those with per capita income greater than $12,536. The countries having per capita income between $4,046 and $12,535 are known as upper middle income countries. The countries having per capita income between $1,036 and $4,045 are known as lower middle income countries. And finally, the countries with per capita income less than $1,036 is known as low income countries. Here we discuss about the features of developed countries. They are high per capita income, abundance of capital, low level of unemployment, demographic characteristics, importance of non-agricultural sectors, low or no incidence of poverty, income inequalities are very low, medium or low density of population, high quality of life, latest technology, absence of dual economy, price stability. The most important area in this lesson is the features of the developing countries. They are just opposite to the features of developed countries. India being a developing country, we concentrate more on the features of the developing country. The features are low per capita income, scarcity of capital, unemployment, demographic characteristics, predominance of agriculture, high incidence of poverty, income inequalities, high density of population, low quality of life, technological backwardness, dual economy and price instability. Now let us move to the first feature of a developing country, that is low per capita income. Per capita income, also known as income per person in a country in an year. How can we calculate per capita income? Using this formula, total income of an area divided by total population. Otherwise, national income divided by population. It is better understood with the help of an example. Here, the example of country A and country B are given. Country A, the population is 1000 and the GDP is 10 million. In country B, population is 200 and GDP is 4 million. In order to find out the per capita income of country A, we have to divide the GDP with the population. So, 10 million divided by 1000, that is equal to 10,000. So, country A's GDP per capita is $10,000. The same way, country B, we have to divide 4 million divided by 200. Then we will get the GDP per capita $20,000. So what is the use of this GDP per capita? It is used to compare different countries. Now let us see what is called a developing country. The low income and middle income countries combined together are called developing countries. The per capita income of India has increased from $1,070 to $1,530 in 2011 and entered into the group of lower middle income countries. India's per capita income in 2018 is $2009.98. Now let us move to the second feature of a developing country, that is scarcity of capital. Scarcity meaning not having enough resource to produce. One of the main objective of economics itself is to study how people try to satisfy their endless wants through careful use of the scarce resources. In underdeveloped economies like India, capital availability per person is very low, which results in low productivity and low per capita income. Here let us learn more about the scarcity of capital. The amount of capital required per head is low in India. The rate of capital formation is low, 10 to 15 percentage up to 1970-71, and it increased to 35 percentage in 2008-9. Still, it is far from the satisfactory for two reasons. Number one, the actual rate of investment is lower than the required to meet the targeted growth. The rate of investment in India is much lower than many other developing countries. The third feature of a developing country is unemployment. Lack of enough employment opportunities are known as unemployment. Unemployment and underemployment in India are caused by more basic structural factors such as lack of capital, use of capital intensive technologies, lack of access to land for agricultural household, lack of infrastructure, rapid growth of population, etc. Now let us understand more about the unemployment in India. Overcrowding in agriculture due to rapid growth of population and lack of alternative job opportunities may be cited as the main reasons for disguised unemployment in India. Look into the census data of 2011, we can see that among illiterate, 7.23% are unemployed. And among the literates, 10.98% are unemployed. Here we are going to learn The fourth feature of a developing country, that is demographic characteristics. What is demography? Demography is nothing but the study of population, or in other words, it is the total number of people in a given area. In India, more than 50% of its population below the age of 25 and more than 65% are below the age of 35. Now, the developing countries come under second stage of demographic transition. That means the growth of the population. You can see this is the first stage, this is second stage, and this is the third stage, that is developed. So developing countries, what are the problem? High birth rate and falling death rate. So automatically the total population will increase very fastly. Now let us see the growth of population in India. We have already learned that India is in the second stage of demographic transition. That means high birth rate and low death rate. At the beginning of 20th century, India has a population just 23.6 crores in 1901. According to 2001 census, the population of India is 102.86 crores. As per the latest figures, it is more than 121 crores 2011 census data. India adds one Australia to its population every year and one Britain population in every 3.5 years. India's population is almost equal to the combined population of USA, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Japan. In the present situation, the population of India is expected to grow to 134.5 crore by the year of 2021 and to 172 crores by the year 2060. Another important feature of Indian population is that in the Indian population, the population of youth is very high. Now let us move to the fifth feature of a developing country, that is predominance of agriculture. Agriculture plays a vital role in the Indian economy. Over 70% of the rural households depend on agriculture. Agriculture is an important sector of Indian economy as it contributes about 17% to the total GDP and provides employment to over 60% of the population. Let us have a comparison with the other developed countries. You can see here the population employed in agriculture is very less in the developed countries comparing to India. India, it is around 52% in 2008, while in US it is 1.9%, UK it is 1.3%, Japan it is 4.6%. And contribution to the national income, it is also very high comparing to other developed countries in India. In India it is about 15%. You can see in developed countries like USA it is only 1.3, in UK it is 0.64, and in Japan it is only 1.7%. Here we discuss about the sectoral shares of employment and their contribution to the GDP to understand more about the predominance of agriculture. It is evident from this picture that the employment share of agriculture is very high. According to Indian Economic Survey 2013-14, 54.6% of the working population is engaged in the agricultural sector and it contributes only 13.9% of the GDP. The sixth feature of a developing country is high incidence of poverty. What is poverty? Poverty is not having enough material possessions or income for a person's needs. Poverty may include social, economic, and political elements. Absolute poverty is the complete lack of the means necessary to meet basic personal needs such as food, clothing, and shelter. From these pictures, you will have a better idea about incidence of poverty in India. Around 27 crores of Indians are poor. That means 1 in every 5 Indian is a poor. 80% of the India's poor live in rural areas. 7 low income states holds 62% of India's poor population. The states with the highest poverty in India are Bihar, UP and MP. More than 40% of the people are poor. The other picture, in different colors, the percentage of the poor people are shown. 0 to 10% shown in green color, 10 to 20% in light green color, and the highest above 40% is shown in red color. Now let us discuss about the seventh feature of a developing country, that is income inequalities. What is inequality? Inequality is nothing but not equal. That means the difference between the things some group of people have comparing to the other group. For example, if you take about the sport, some athletes have better facilities and training. The other athletes may not have that much facilities. That means they have inequality. If you take countries, between countries, some countries are wealthy while some others are extremely poor. That means there is inequality. And even if we take one country, inside the country itself, there is inequality. Inequality in income, inequality in better facilities, inequality in education, etc. These pictures will give you a better idea about the income inequalities in India. The richest 10% have 77.4% of national wealth. The poorest 60% of the people have only 4.7% of the wealth. The top 10% of the Indian population holds 77% of the total national wealth. 73% of the wealth generated in 2017 went to the richest 1%, while 67 million Indians, who comprise the poorest half of the population, saw only a 1% increase in their wealth. There are 119 billionaires in India. Their number has increased from only 9 in 2000 to 101 in 2017. Between 2018 and 2022, India is estimated to produce 70 new millionaires every day. The eighth feature of a developing country is the highest density of population. What is density of population? The people live in a square kilometer area. It can be calculated by number of people in that area divided by the land area. Present density of population in India is 382 per square kilometer. And as of 2018 World Bank report, India's population is 135.26 crores. Here we can see the increase of density of population from 1901 to 2011 census data. In 1901 it was only 77, but it increased to 382 in 2011 census. Now let us move to the top 10 highest population density states. Here the number 1 population density state is Bihar with 1106 persons per square kilometer. And it is the second highest population density state is West Bengal with 1028 persons per square kilometer. The least population density state is Arunachal Pradesh with 13 persons per square kilometer. Andhra Pradesh population density is 308 persons per square kilometer. The next feature of a developing country is low quality of life. In terms of quality of life, India has ranked among the worst countries for the past 6 years. India ranks in the bottom 5 in terms of safety, with more than 2 in 5 respondents finding the country is not peaceful. The quality of life is very low as the people suffer from malnutrition, high population, lack of sanitation, lack of education, over dependency on agriculture, etc. So the life expectancy at birth is below 69 years. The life expectancy at birth in 2011-15 has been 66.9 years for the males and 70 years for females respectively. Now let us move to the next feature of developing country, that is technological backwardness. In developing countries, production techniques are backward due to lack of research and development. These countries use labor intensive techniques because of high population and capital deficiency. Primitive methods are widely used in every sector in India. Lack of knowledge about the modern techniques are the reason for that. But nowadays, in some areas, modern technologies are used. One of the important feature of a developing country is dual economy. There are three types of dualisms: technological dualism, social dualism, and financial dualism. Technological dualism means technically advanced and technically primitive sectors exist side by side is known as technological dualism. The existence of organized sector and unorganized sector side by side is known as social dualism. Extremely rich and extremely poor exist side by side is known as financial dualism. If any of these dualisms are present in an economy is known as dual economy. These dual economies are common in developing countries. Another important feature of a developing country is that price instability. Indian economy has been facing the twin issues of mounting trade imbalance and persisting inflation. Thus, Indian economy suffers from high price instability. Now let us make the concluding note. India is an emerging and developing country found in Southern Asia. It is the world's largest democracy and one of the world's fastest growing economies. It is currently the seventh richest country in the world. Despite its rapid growth, poverty is widespread in India. The Human Development Index places India 136 out of 187 countries, with 25% of the nation's population still living on less than $1.25 a day. The widespread unemployment, overpopulation, overdependence on agriculture, corruption, inequality, so on pushes back India to a developing country. Now let us discuss some of the important concepts in this lesson. Human capital, the collective skills, knowledge, or other intangible assets of individuals that can be used to create economic value. This includes assets like education, training, intelligence, skills, health, etc. Dual economy. A dual economy is the existence of two separate economic sectors within one country. In other words, where both technically advanced and technically primitive sectors exist side by side is called dual economy. Per capita income. It measures the average income earned per person in a given area in a specified year. It is calculated by dividing the area's total income by its total population. Thank you for watching the video presentation.